Hey, welcome everyone. This is Mike from zozostockwatch.com, and this is going to be your Let's Get Ready for the Week Ahead, June 17th through June 21st, and also a combo video with your Stocks on Watch list for Monday. Let's go ahead and get into it. Just want to start out by saying Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, future dads. Happy Father's Day. Hope you're enjoying the day, and let's go ahead and get into our video. So we'll go ahead and start out with talking about the markets on Friday. Markets had a hard time moving this week. Markets ended a quiet week on Friday. The Dow Jones Industrials down 17 points. The S&P was down 5 points. The Nasdaq down 40 points, and the Dow Jones Transports were down 42 points for Friday. Uh, Let's see, we'll take a look at the heat map real fast. This courtesy of FinViz. As you can see, kind of mixed markets. Apple down, Facebook up, as they're going to be doing some more advertising. The banks got a little bit of buying. Comcast got a little buying. Walmart. Pfizer was moving up. BMY. We had some of the utility stocks pushing up again as the talks that the Fed may be lowering rates. We'll talk more about that in a moment. So basically, a mixed day on Friday. Disney down, oil's down. So let's go ahead and take a look at the SPY map, SPY chart real fast. So for the SPY, basically you could say it's orderly consolidation flagging right now here above the 5 EMA, above the 50 SMA. For the SPY, bulls not making much headway, but bears not making much headway either after that bottoms move here, that V bottom off of the 150 SMA. We've talked about that in previous videos, pushing us up. We still remain under that 290 area and still remain under the highs here of 293. Sorry, 295 on the SPY, but nice recovery here by the bulls. Consolidation going on, like a waiting game going on. We do have some economic things that we'll go through coming up for the week ahead. And let's go ahead and take a look at the Qs really fast. I'm not going to be spend too much time on the markets because they're basically all just consolidating. Now the Qs are holding above the 5 EMA, holding below the 50 SMA here on the daily chart for the Qs. The IWM still a little bit worrisome here as it cannot get back above the 200 SMA. The green line here, we have a declining green moving average, the 200 SMA. We are in this kind of envelope right now between the fast moving averages and the longer term moving averages on the daily for the IWM. But then if we go look at the IWC, that is clearly the micro caps clearly below the 200 SMA, clearly below the 50 SMA. So not much for the bulls to hang their hats on there. IBB. The biotech space, both that is below the 50 SMA, both and also below the 200 SMA here. Also the XBI, the smaller biotechs, trying to hold above this $80 area, but remains below 85 and the 50 and 200 SMA on the daily charts for the biotechs. We'll go ahead and look at the SMH on our daily chart. Trying to hold the 20 SMA here on my daily chart, but below the 10, below the 5. Those momentum moving averages still holding above that 100 spot, holding above the 200 SMA. We did get a pop right up to the 50 SMA on the daily chart here, and now we've been kind of pulling back. AVGO didn't help matters. AVGO came out with earnings on Thursday after the bell. They lowered guidance. They said the CEO said he saw a broad slowdown mentioned by him, so that wasn't helping the semis at all on Friday. As you can see, AVGO in the after hours on Thursday gapped down, then kind of a little bit of a rebound, but not much on AVGO, so that's a worrisome spot here for the SMH. That slowdown comments by the CEO from AVGO. All right, so let's get into a few things that we need to be aware of for the week coming up. FOMC meeting begins on Tuesday. The announcement gets made on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, now after each FOMC decision, there is a presser with the Fed Chair Jerome Powell. So that'll start at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So it's not just the decision and then we move on. We still have to wait for the Q&A of Jerome Powell that day at 2:30. So they do that after every meeting now. Other than that, for economic information coming out, it's pretty straightforward. We do get some numbers coming out from Japan on Thursday. We do have quad witching and a rebalancing coming up this coming Friday for the market. So be aware that Friday is quad witching and the rebalance that will be going on. But the big thing everybody is going to be watching for is the FOMC decision and what Jerome Powell has to say on Wednesday, and that's on the 19th. So stocks could be a little bit sluggish here going into that meeting, and then we'll have to see what the reaction's going to be on the markets. Let's go ahead and check out some of the earnings coming out for this week. Really very light as far as earnings, but we do get some bigger names. Adobe. J-Bill will be reporting after the bell on Tuesday. Oracle will be reporting. Steelcase also reporting. Kroger's before the bell on Thursday. Red Hat, which was bought out by IBM, will be reporting Thursday after the close. And CarMax will be reporting Friday before the open. So very light as far as the earnings, but a few big names in there will be reporting. So just be aware of that. Some of your top gainers for the day on Friday, you had BXG, ARQL, AVDL, BBX, MAXR, SOB, LGCY, BYND, DSX, LK, all to the upside. Top 10 gainers, this courtesy of the Trade Exchange. Top 10 losers, SLS, NAVB, MCRB, AHT, KRYS, ATRO, Loop, RVLT, MPAA, and DCO. Some of your top losers for the day on Friday. Unusual options activity courtesy of the Trade Exchange once again to the call side. Micron, RDFN, BOX, CLDR, BHP, GIII, GBT, ATRS, and not much put activity listed. Let's go ahead and get a look at some of the things that we need to look at for the week ahead. So the Fed won't cut rates. This coming from CNBC at its June meeting, and then they did an article on that. If you want to check that out, I'll put it down in the comments link. So we're not really looking for a Fed cut rate this meeting, but in July, the odds of a rate cut go up. So we'll have to see. As far as economic PDUFA dates coming up, this courtesy of Benzinga. You do have ARQL, June 17th, Genetics Conference for that one, AFMD, June 22nd, and you can pause the video and read this. I'll just give you the dates real fast. BGNE, June 20th, EPZM, June 21st, MOR, June 22nd, also June 16th through the 19th for TBPH for their Phase 2. ALNA, that one June 21st through June 22nd for that name, presenting detailed Phase 2 data on one of their products. So once again, this coming from Benzinga. I'll put that down in the comments. Another thing that happened over the weekend, we do have a Bitcoin making a nice move back over 9,000 on Bitcoin. So for the week, we may want to keep an eye on some of the Bitcoin stocks, AMD. I put this out on my Twitter feed. So if you go to Zozo Stockwatch, here's my Twitter feed, Zozo Stockwatch, and then you can see I put out some charts. SQ is also in the Bitcoin crypto space. some other charts that I put out there on my Twitter feed if you want to check those out. So with Bitcoin clearing 9,000, some crypto stocks, and then I put this FinViz link there. So if you want to check that out on the private feed, and then you can go through some stocks. By the way, from the trade exchange, some top insider purchases that came out over on Friday. So that's listed on my Twitter feed if you want to check that out. And then here's some more charts if you want to look at that Zozo Stockwatch for the Twitter feed. So for the week of June 28th through and June 29th, or on those days, there will be the G20 summit going on. So Trump is supposed to be meeting with Xi from China at the G20 summit. So not this week, the following week on the 28th and 29th, that'll be happening. So keep that on your watch also. Some of the top 5 things to watch for the week ahead. For this week coming up, Fed may open door to July rate cut. We have the ECB, BOE, and the Bank of Japan. There are attention focused on European Central Bank's annual three-day meeting. So that'll be coming up for the week ahead. Economic data to watch. Basically, we talked about that as far as the Fed. Trade developments, talks with the between China and the U.S. If they're going to keep sparring and going at it and keep throwing rhetoric at each other, that could move the markets. And like we said, a quiet week for the earnings ahead. But there are some companies reporting earnings. And then J.P. Morgan shows where huge risks from the Fed and the G20 are underpriced. So an article here from Bloomberg talking about the G20 and also the Fed possible rate cut coming up in July. Some of your top 10 stocks that were moving for the week. We had data was bought out by Salesforce with 30%. Red Hat had earnings this week. Stock moving up 25% for the week. DXCM climbing 18% for the week. ZLab jumping 13% this week. CAR climbing almost 12%. Yext moving up 11% this week. CF climbing a little under 10%. Beyond Meat also climbed this week, up 9%. Mattel takeover chatter around this name was up 9% for the week. Deckers moving up another 9% this week. DECK big moving up this week, up 8% for the week. To the downside for some of your bigger stocks, Love. A recent IPO, they came out with earnings. Stock dropped 21%. Dave & Buster's was down 20% for the week. They came out with earnings. Boom moving down 13%. Solely, a recent IPO. Tattoo removal down 12%. TNDM, this stock dropping 11% for the week. WLL, an oil stock. This stock moving down 11% for the week. GBT taking a hit this week, down 10% for the week. NTNX over in the software space dropping 9% for the week. Some of your smaller stocks. For the week, you had NBY up 418%, BRVB, this stock climbing 170%, Vuzi having a good week, up 76%, CETX up 46%, AEZS up 46% for the week, NDRA climbing 43% for the week, Coda, after coming out with earnings, this stock moving up 43% for the week, AVDL up 39%, IGC climbing 37% for the week. BXG also moving up 35% for the some of your stocks that were down for the week. You had INSY down 74%, CBay dropping 45%, NAVB down 45%, LGCY this stock dropping 44% for the week. Roan, ROAN, also down 42%. FCell dropping 38%. NVUS also dropping 37%. ACHV got hit this week, down 32%. ONCT moving down 30% for the week. MCRB down 30% for the week. SHIP, actually, earnings came out on Friday. after the bell, but for the week it was down 29% for the week. Some news that came out Friday, courtesy of the Trade Exchange, thetradeexchange.com. This news coming out on Friday after the bell. RVLT had some news after the bell on Friday. Names Joanne Nano as Chief Financial Officer. AMPE announced an offering on this name, so that stock moving down in the after hours on Friday. ALTR announced a sale of 230 million aggregate principal amount of convertible senior notes on ALTR. We had MRKR filed a form S3 200 million mixed shelf filed for RKR. We did that Friday after the bell. PYX snuck their earnings out after the bell on Friday. Stock moving up in after hours on Friday. Like I said, a SHIP came out with earnings after the bell on Friday. They snuck those out. So that stock kind of moving down a little bit in the after hours on SHIPs. Here's their earnings. If you want to pause the video, read that for yourself. Weed revenue grows in Colorado, tops 1 billion. That coming out over the weekend here. INCY announces positive results from its phase 2 study. We also had BPMC. I'll let you, if you want, pause the video there. You can read that. STRO also had some phase 1 news come out over the weekend. Let's see if there was any other news that came out this weekend thus far. Let's see. Edit had some news. Once again, you can pause the video, read these for yourself out on my Twitter feed, Zozo Stockwatch. And then ONCO, new data presented from on phase 2. So ONCO with some weekend news here if you want to pause the video and read that for yourself. Once again, this news coming from the Trade Exchange, thetradeexchange.com. All right, let's go ahead and get into the watch list for Monday. So AEZS having a nice move here. Would like to see a little more volume coming in on this move, but we are coming up to the 200 SMA here on AEZS. So it'll be on watch. Would like a little bit of consolidation now. We just came from $2 up to $3, so we'll see if this one wants to make a move at the beginning of the week. So AEZS will be on watch. Maybe a little, like I said, consolidation is in order. ARQL, this one a big pop on news, holding above the gap up here on this name. We'll see if there's any more continuation. 34 million shares came into ARQL on Friday, so definitely one I think to watch at the beginning of the week and throughout the week. AVDL, now we've talked about this one on our videos in the past. Look at this expanding volume that we've been noting. So a big continuation move here, pushing up to about 350. Keep this one on your watch. Obviously, we would like a little bit, maybe a red to green move, a reversal possible move on AVDL with a little bit of a pullback here, but note the expanding volume coming into that name. AXAS starting to curl up here, turning the corner, holding above some of those momentum moving averages. Has that 125 spot, 1.6 million came into it on Friday. Keep it on watch. A couple of IPOs came out. Chewy on Friday, CHWY. Stock popped all the way to 41. Now, IPOs have been very strong the last few weeks. We've been playing them at Zozo StockWatch, so we'll keep this one on watch. The other one was FVRR, is another IPO that came out on Thursday, I believe. A big run up in this one. We actually caught this one coming up over 27 and change. Got about $5 out of this thing. Didn't catch the whole move on FVRR, but a recent IPO, we'll have that on watch for next week, and some of the other IPOs we'll be watching too, such as ZM. Will be on watch, and BYND always on watch now. Very strong one. So keep some of those IPOs on watch. DSX over in the shipper space, starting to turn the corner. Some expanding volume coming in down here. Has that 325 now. It does have a declining 200 SMA, but you have to start somewhere. We're breaking out of this base here a little bit. So we'll keep it on watch, kind of a back burner on that one. ENT, this one trying to turn the corner, has 75 cents up ahead. So if you like these under $1 names, they have been moving So if you like these under $1 names, you might want to keep an eye on ENT as it's trying to reverse the trend back up. GH for the swing traders out there, you see this kind of cup here, handle forming, basing under $90. Recent IPO back in October of 2018 has been on a steady climb, pulling back, a little bit of consolidation going on here. Keep this one on watch. Very strong in this market. IGC popping up over in the cannabis space. 23 million shares came into this name, gapping it up. So definitely keep this one on watch. JFIN, this one has that $14 area, recent IPO. If they can get it up over $14, might get interesting here. LJPC, we had this big push up to about $14 now. We've pulled back. We're basing here a little bit, holding above $9, have this $10 area up ahead. So as long as it's holding up well, I'll keep it on watch. If it completely breaks down, then we'll say, well, it was worth keeping on a chart. But we'll see if we can get a move on that LJPC. LK, this one holding above 18 now. The Starbucks of China has a high of 1945. Maybe it wants to make a continuation move, another recent IPO. With crypto, with Bitcoin moving up, like I said, you may want to keep an eye on Mara here, MARA, and I gave you a list of a few others. So Mara, RIOT is another one that you might want to keep on watch, trying to turn the corner here. Was getting some buying in the after hours on Friday, up at that 296 level, so definitely keep RIOT on watch. RVLV, another recent IPO, would like a little bit of a pullback in this name, so we'll keep it on watch to see what we can get out of that one. Stitch Fix, for you swing traders out there, you might want to keep an eye on this one. It's holding above the 5. It had the earnings gap up here, holding above the 200, has this $30 area up ahead. SFIX, USAT. This one has been on a steady climb and flagging again underneath that $8 area for USAT, so keep it on watch. By the way, if this video is helping you out, down below there's a like button. Please hit that. If you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. We'd greatly appreciate it. Help our channel to grow. Another name we'll be looking at is VSTM. That one was perking up on Friday, 2.7 million shares. Has that $1.50 area up ahead, so keep an eye on VSTM. WKHS, this one looks interesting still. Hasn't broken down now. A lot of choppiness going on here right now. Has that 260 number up ahead, so we'll keep it on watch on that name. ZYNE, we were playing this last week. We got some nice moves out of it, but we could not get that $14 break. If it does take out this $14, it could get very interesting here on ZYNE. And then Tesla. Now, we had talked about this in previous videos for the bounce around that 180 area. We did get that. We have paid ourselves on some. Now, we still have a 50 SMA that's declining, the 200 SMA. Let's go ahead and look at it on the weekly chart here on Tesla. So we got the bounce we wanted out of Tesla, but now we still have work to do here. The 10 SMA on the weekly chart is currently at 227, 228 area for Tesla. So we'll still have Tesla on watch, but we've taken most of our profits from this 185, 180 entry that we talked about on the video and in the room at zozostockwatch.com. All right, this is Mike from zozostockwatch.com. Once again, all the dads out there, enjoy your day. We'll be back at it with another video Monday for Tuesday. Hope you have a great weekend, and hope this video helps you out. Like I said, support the channel. We greatly appreciate it. Help us help our channel to grow. Have a great weekend, and this is Mike from zozostockwatch.com.